At the end of the night, Leoma helped the battle with her buffs, telling the knights to seek help with the healing. Along with Arno, who is resting, relieved that fortunately Aldine emptied the building, resulting there isn't much harm done after Lucius's battle where he needs to destroy the building. Other than that, all those larvae died at once. Thanks to that, their brainwashing has been undone, which means that Aldine has died. A moment later, Lucius turns around. He smiles brightly as the party of two come back from their own battle, along with Claudia with her child in hand. The burden of all the battle disappeared in an instant as Ardea and her kid falls into Lucius' arms, marking that the battle with Aldine's plot to take over the third parish temple is ended. The next few days that are extremely hectic with treating the injured, arresting the demon god worshippers that Aldine brought from the central parish, and a mountain of other work to take care of. Then, of course, among the crucial things to take care of, encouraging the troops' fatigue throughout those hectic days, as well as purging the demon god worshippers who had been in hiding for years were also part of it. Alfonso also finally recovered, saying how he cannot believe that a priest of his level could be deprived of his own will and completely controlled by Aldine. Zephyr and Ned also present where Alfonso thanks them for saving him along with the third parish temple. Zephyr says that he only did what any human should have, where he then presents a gift to the bishop intending to congratulate him to recover. It is Aldine's head caged in a memorous bird cage, which he got from Eurydica's tomb, that makes it impossible for anyone trapped inside to use any skill, and that birdcage also preserves the state that they were in when put inside. That shocks the bishop, saying that they should burn him down. Yet Zephyr assures him that the queen worm is already dead, so Aldine can no longer use his ability, and now he is completely harmless. Even though Aldine is a demon god cult executive, that make it possible to them to extract useful information from him. Ned then also expresses how he is feeling very refreshed right now. Besides that he has discovered that information, that matter has become something that he can't handle alone. Zephyr then gives Alfonso the information he gathered regarding the demon god cult. Upon reading it, Alfonso is so shocked with the information he reads about the demon god advent plan, destruction and reconstruction of the world, and the ones who are pushing that plan is the Eastern Union. It is then explained that in the kingdom of Kayani that occupies half of the Aslan continent, there are two powers: the Western Alliance of the Western Lords and the Eastern Union of the Eastern Lords. The two powers originally held nearly the same amount of strength, but after the Giornetti Duke House of the Western Alliance produced both the Queen and the Saint of Light, the balance of power collapsed. Zephyr explained further that the Eastern Union, after several difficulties, had been experiencing a continuous slump since the dungeon bubble break. They would even sold some of their territories to the West. Then the difference in strength had become too large. That is why, a few years ago, among the nobles of the Eastern Union, the demon god cult permeated their ranks like ink in the water. As a result, 2 of the 8 challenges of the world, Blue Dragon Artelis and Ice Dragon Marinia, started to destroy the Western territories. Then, Zephyr offered himself and Ned to go to slay the dragons. That surprised Alfonso with how outrageous that is, even with the 2 of them, while Lucius is feeling left out, wanting to go as well. But Zephyr tells him that Lucius has to protect the third parish, and if something bad happens to Lucius's family, the scale of the battle may be flipped completely on their heads. And right at that moment, Lucius swears on his name as the saint, to name Zephyr and Ned as senior temple knights as thanks for the work they have done protecting the parish. They will be also granted either gold, jewels, and magic stone. Being senior knight will allow them to enter all territories that the Temple of Light's religious influence reaches. They can use any kind of commodities they want in the Temple of Light in the name of the saint, and Lucius even write them a certificate that allows them to mobilize troops. And Lucius and his uncle will pay their offerings that they have to pay to the temple, half from each of them, stupefied Alfonso. Right after they shake hand on it and bid their farewell. But as they do so, suddenly the birdcage that keeps Aldine's head shines extruding crimson magic, surprising the party. With little life force Aldine has, someone tracks him down, possesses him. The being talks, saying that he thought he would connect with Aldine since he felt his life force disappearing. With his red devilish eyes, he asked the party whether they are the ones who killed Aldine, and instead of answering, Lucius asks who that being is. He then extrudes his overwhelming aura, filling the room with it, then telling Lucius to kneel before he asks. Right after, he claimed to be the demon god cult leader. That surprised the party, while Lucius thought that the leader must have come to finish them off after finding out Aldine failed, while swearing to himself that his overpriced equipment is being repaired. The demon god cult then continues, looking at Zephyr saying that he feels that unnerving energy he extrudes. Then he knows that Zephyr must be the owner of the dragon heart. Suddenly, Lucius and Ned step forward to deal with the demon god cult leader, while Ned also telling Zephyr to get away first, and they both will try to buy him some time. While Lucius wondering to himself that he still have his trump card, glimpse of glory. Even though it won't be easy, he is determined not to allow them to take the dragon heart. That surprised Zephyr, moved with their determination to fight for him, while both of Ned and Lucius preparing their teamwork. In an instant, they dash forward, instantly appear right at the median of the magic, intending to destroy Aldine's head to break the connection of the magic. But the demon god cult leader already cast his magic to block both of their attack, simultaneously cast another magic to root both of them, making them unable to do anything beyond trying. That caught them off guard, with Ned shocked that the magic was activated before he even had the chance to dodge using Crow Cape, while Lucius's mana keep dispersing, making him unable to use any skill. The demon god cult leader uses a skill from the ancient dragon's shadow, while telling them to not do anything stupid, because that skill is not something the likes of them can undo. He also inwardly thinking that someone should have come to interfere and changed the situation, but that seems to have been a wasted trip for him, for finding out that it total failure on Aldine. Having enough of it, he uses all kind of magic and curse to deal with Ned and the Saint, intending to finish them off, while Alfonso can only pray to the Aria, the goddess of light, where he is unable to do anything himself to change the situation with the appearance of the demon god cult leader. Suddenly, Zephyr joined the fray, using light magic to cut off the root that bind his two comrades. That surprised the demon god cult leader with the sight of Zephyr wielding the sword of light, along with the power of the dragon heart he possesses. Where before that the demon god cult leader was thinking that it was a waste of time to come there, but to find an amusing god right in front of him, he is wondering who someone that is not a saint can be a chosen one. Zephyr smiles that he wants to know, so Zephyr claims that he can tell that much for the demon god cult leader. But before that, he offers him a wager, saying that it would be boring to just tell him, so then, the loser tells the winner on thing they want to know. Then, if Zephyr wins, he is going to tell his comrades the demon god cult leader's identity, and if he wins, he can do the same to his comrades too. That surprised the demon god cult leader, as well as both Ned and Lucius, because not even Alden knew the real identity of the demon god cult leader, but to think that Zephyr knows that much is beyond his thinking. Though the demon god cult leader can tell whether someone is lying or not with his detection skill, and he determines that Zephyr really knows his identity. But still, he agrees to it, so Zephyr throws up the coin. The air grew tense as the coin falls down, and the demon god cult leader chooses tails while Zephyr chooses head. As the coin falls down on Zephyr's hand, both of Ned and Lucius knows that it's tail, and Ned is unable to understand that Zephyr is leaving it up to chance or whether he prepares some sort of trick. But then, a jolt of magic attack on hands that cover the coin. A light blows up from it, and the source of that is the collision of Zephyr and the cult leader's mana condensed to an extreme level of density. What decides the result of a coin toss is when the hand that covers the coin is completely open, the one who flips it and solidifies their victory when the hand opens. Zephyr tries to cover his hands, defending it against the attack that comes from the cult leader's magic power. It's a battle that the winner will be decided by crushing the opponent's interference, a contest of strength with such a simple rule. That is the true nature of that wager, where both the cult leader constantly fighting with Zephyr to open the hand while he is trying to decide the outcome. In a clash with no criteria for victory or defeat, it's difficult to withdraw, even if one didn't intend to see it through to the end. That's why they made the rule. As the timing is closing in on Zephyr, he throws the coin away from him. Both of them nose and still chase the coin with their magic. But then, Zephyr uses the Dragon King-style move. That surprised the cult leader, as he notices that it's the Eastern One's electrical acceleration technique. With that technique, Zephyr punched the coin into the ground, breaking the floor into the basement of the temple. At that exact moment, the dragonification duration is over, and that decides their wager. The coin is split in half, one that land on tail and the other half on head, marking their wager as a draw. A moment later after that wager, Ned tells the story to Claudia that makes her expresses how amazing Zephyr is with how Zephyr accurately grasped the cult leader's mentality, that resulting not much harm to the party. It turns out that because it's a draw, both Zephyr and the cult leader agree on using the oath ring, a token of the promise between two people. If one breaks the promise, the ring of the other breaks, and a sentence for the breaker begins. The sentence is one of their sentence disappears for 1 month, and after looking for a way to break the oath ring in the temple, both Zephyr and Lucius fails to find a way. So, until their second round, Zephyr can't reveal the cult leader's identity to the party, but he smiles wickedly, saying that not directly anyway. With his evil smile, he intending to give them a riddle to solve, or a hint that doesn't count breaking the oath. Before that, he reveals that it's even more dangerous than even the Eastern Union, so he can't tell anyone about that but the people who he truly trusts. The demon god cult leader is Polaris Albert Cayenne, the first prince of the Cayenne kingdom, and the youngest cardinal of the Temple of Light. As he is no expecting that he thought Zephyr would spill about into his party already. And with that, the cult leader is suspecting that Zephyr might have an enormous amount of ambition, that he looks forward to it. Anyway, he is at the party of Altair Justina Cayenne, his sister, where she is celebrating her 20th birthday, and Altair Zephyr's lover in his past life. At night that day, Lucius is losing sleep because the demon god cult leader, as if he connects all the keywords Zephyr told him, he knows that the cult leader is one so powerful that they can't handle. But his family and him can no longer withdraw from the battle, while Ned is determined that there's no choice but to fight and win, because his revenge isn't over yet. Both his master and his cult brother, along with the facilitators that Aldine spoke of, he can't stop until he has uprooted them all. And if it wasn't for Zephyr, then forget about revenge. Right about now, Ned would be regretting his foolishness after being thrown away by the demon god cult. He owes Zephyr a debt greater than his life, and he will repay him, no matter how powerful of an opponent he must fight. Meanwhile, Zephyr's mind also occupied while he is meditating. He is thinking about why the cult leader showed up. But then, the silver key in his left hand glows up, marking that Mercedes is calling up to him. He then enters the space that connected with the silver key. Inside, Mercedes welcomes him with her pet in hand. There, Zephyr figures out that the one giving perks of the silver key is Mercedes, so he asked her about it. So she explained that she is his manager after all, with it comes her own privileges. She also says that she would be disgraced if Zephyr died a boring death after sending him off empty-handed, when the gods desire entertainment. After that, with her authority, she teleports them both to sit down. Then Mercedes delivers the main point of the message. There the gods want to tell Zephyr the addition of rules and rewards. Even though it was rather fun, his insolence of threatening the gods with his life will not be forgiven a second time. Additionally, if he ever do something like that again, the perks he was given will be collected immediately. Zephyr will then be designated as prey, and every single person who hunts him will be given the perks he has collected from him. Right after, Mercedes explained the rewards and new rules that he has to carry, about how that is nothing free in the world. Trading the request from the gods, and Zephyr will be rewarded. The next day, both Zephyr and Ned bid their farewell to the priest and priestess from the temple, going to proceed into his next plan. Then they depart as Lucius thoughts about his role. It's not only the demon god cult, nobles, the rich, adventurers, there are countless people aiming for the dragon heart. His role is to draw their attention to him pretending that he secured it, and make it easier for Zephyr to act. With that, he commands the knight to lock the gates, prohibit anyone into the temple, and declare that from that point on, the Great Third Parish Temple will be blockaded indefinitely. Meanwhile, in the tomb, Eurydica is able to feel Zephyr's presence is getting further away, marking that he is leaving that place, and it is her time to go as well, to where she and her lover were meant to go. With that, her role is over, along with her 1,000 years of loneliness. She leave it all to the one who inherited their mission, and her descendant who will walk alongside him, where she get a letter from Lucius, her older cousin, congratulates her on her birthday, adding that he is apologizing that he couldn't come to the party because of the raid. With the letter, he also said that he will send her a birthday gift instead, and he is sure that she will like it. At that exact moment, a commotion arrived at her residence. It was Zephyr beating the people that hew in the yard for a chance to meet her. That is when she knows that Lucius' gift to her is something she has always desired, someone who will be her strength. A few moments before that, when Zephyr and Ned arrive at her territory, it is explained that the territory that was awarded to Altair, along with the title of Grand Duchess of Lindell when she was 16. Zephyr arrives showing the letter from Lucius, the Saint of Light, to the knights till they let them in. Inside, there is an envoy that will escort them, as Ned is skeptical that coming to the princess will be any help to them in the dragon raid. As they are talking about it, there's someone thrown away from the castle into their face. The escort then explain that they are suitors who come to see the princess. That surprised Ned with how they are a lot of them that look like thugs instead. It is then revealed that Princess Altair Justine Cayenne. She has looks, talent, noble bloodline, a woman that born with everything and the shining star of Aslan, a lucky child who is promised the throne without the need to push her older brothers aside. A lot of nobles are coveting her hand in marriage, because if one that did will be the next king. But with a single word, where she said that she doesn't even to utter a single word about marriage to weak men. From just that words, countless men of nobility, to gain the qualification to even have a conversation with her, continued to take up the challenge. The challenge to fight Altair's first guardian knight called Ophelia Amleth, only to get repeatedly getting their asses beaten miserably and going back to their homes. Upon checking the contenders, they are not even close to Zephyr or Ned, but they are also people who wouldn't be disrespected anywhere they go. It's just that Ophelia is one of the continent's strongest 10. That makes Zephyr smile to see her in her younger form, while at the same time, there's a huge guy calling out to Zephyr and Ned asking who they are. He is mad because the end of the line is on the opposite end, and he is already standing there for 3 days straight. So Zephyr reveals that he is an envoy of the saint, and asking the man to move so he can proceed to meet the princess. In the end, the man steps aside, then letting Zephyr and Ned pass by him. Zephyr thoughts how annoying that group of people are, why they are talking behind his back about the dragon raid and how they are gossiping about the possibility of the princess that might also investing in the raid. In the original future, Altair and Zephyr don't meet for another few years. He trains in the cave with Ned for a year, and only after Zephyr comes out of the cave does the flow of time resumes for him. He greets the princess, kissing her hand, and feels so relieved that to think this moment arrived so soon. With the information Lucius gives her with the letter, she asks Zephyr about what he can do for her in detail. While Ned is wondering on why her first night, Ophelia keeps glaring at him. It was Zephyr, the one who made the fuss, not Ned. That is why he wonders whether they have met somewhere before. Meanwhile, Zephyr knows that Altair's communion skill still hasn't fully bloomed at this point in time. She can't read someone's memories at will like Eurydica, but since she has the talent for it, she was able to screen people with a special sense. And with that talent, she gathered comrades to oppose the demon god cult. Furthermore, she is originally Zephyr Sr. who walked this path before him. But at first, he wanted a vague idea of success, and then revenge as per his master Ned's dying wish. Then she showed him something much greater. What she wants are strong comrades who she can trust. That's when Zephyr displayed his 1% dragon heart, as he declares that he can fulfill that desire of hers, and how he thinks that it's probably faster if he shows her instead of telling her. That catches both of their attention. the power of a person who received the dragon heart transplant. Altair then asks Ophelia whether she already had a fight with Zephyr, which she says that she didn't yet. Like knowing what she wants, Ophelia steps forwards while unsheathing